Hi, my name is Pat Carr, and I'm the village manager at Tinley Park. And with us today is Lisa Kortum, the director of emergency management and 911 communications, a place where I had my start, over 20 years ago. So welcome. Tell us a little bit about emergency management and 911, how it's structured.
Emergency management in Tinley Park started in the early 1950s. Started out as volunteer strictly, and it progressed to paid on call, and now it's strictly part-time pay. They get paid for all kinds of activities. We provide emergency and non-emergency support to village public safety teams like police, fire department, public works. We block traffic for events. We have 5 officer positions. We have a communications position. The communications person is in charge of our radios, any type of weather computers, any telecommunications equipment that we use. They're in charge of like the mobiles, portables. I'm a maintenance officer. He's in charge of all the vehicles, all the equipment that we hold at the garage. We have a traffic officer. He's responsible for all the traffic events. He sets up different responsibilities for all the 5Ks that we work, the big village events. We have a supply officer. He's in charge of all the equipment, uniforms, all of our canteen needs. A training officer. She's in charge of all of our training from the very first day that a member starts in the emergency management team throughout. We do all kinds of training monthly. And then we have a compliance officer. She assists me with policies, procedures. We're currently revamping the emergency operations plan for the village.
And you bring up a good one there is the emergency operation plan. I mean, emergency management, you're responsible for all the emergency planning, homeland security activities. And I think one of the great things about our department that a lot of people don't realize is that we're fully accredited. We're an accredited agency by the state, the same accreditation that City of Chicago goes through and their stuff. Talk a little bit about that.
So there are certain activities that we have to do. We train, we do exercises throughout the year. They range from tabletops to a full-scale exercise that I have to plan. We work with, the different departments for Cook County Emergency Management. So we have a hazard mitigation plan with the county. We have other reports, the ILCATs, where we measure our core capabilities and how we, as a village, respond to certain emergencies and hazards. So there's training that I have to attend yearly.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that you do for our preparedness and well-being in Tinley. Back in 2012, I was part of, and you assisted me of bringing the 911 center out of the police department into emergency management. So that's where you came from. That's where you've been with the village all of your careers in 911 communications and all the great work that is, to me, the front line of the emergency responders. You folks are the first ones that get that call. So tell us a little bit about what our dispatchers do, how many we have, what type of training.
Yeah, sure. We have expanded our lead telecommunicators, so we have 4 lead telecommunicators. They're in charge of each shift. We have 15 telecommunicators. We work 24/7. Answer police, fire. I think last year our 911 calls that we handled was over 22,000. We had about 115,000 non-emergency calls, just phone calls that they answer last year. So they're thoroughly trained. They go through a vigorous training period at the beginning of their employment with us. It's like a 3.5-month training. It's all hands-on. We also send them to emergency medical dispatch.
Right.
So they give medical instruction over the phone. If you were to have an emergency and you called 911, Our dispatchers are trained to talk you through, CPR. They can help give birth instructions. So they're highly trained. We're also primary dispatch for Mavis.
So we help dispatch other departments in the area that are part of this division. So Lisa, one of the great things that we have going right now, or exciting things, I know I'm excited about it, is the Emergency Operations Center renovation. I know that that building is is old, from the early 50s. We've operated out of the basement there, and I know it's going to be revamped with new technology and a lot of great things that are going to connect departments and municipalities, cameras, everything. And I think one of the key things that we operate on, not only as public safety, but the village, all of us, to keep informed is Unified Command. Tell us a little bit about what Unified Command is and how it's incorporated into the Emergency Operations Center.
Yeah, sure. The Unified Command team consists of, there's about 8 or 9 of us. They're all department heads: police, fire, public works, IT, myself, and a few other departments within the village. We do a lot of planning. We meet twice a month, and we just get together and, make plans for the big events coming up. If something is in the wind, like, we know civil unrest is happening, or, things that might affect the village, we all meet and, try to make a plan to keep our own village safe. And we do a lot of collaborating, try to, keep everybody on the same page. The EOC is a focal point for, our disaster operations.
Talk a little bit about the technology, how it does connect people.
If there is an emergency, we have mapping, we have, ways of contacting, other departments. So like if you or the mayor were sitting at the village hall waiting for updates, we'll be able to zoom in and have conference calls and all kinds of important meetings, over webcams and things like that. We have the warning systems, will warn. So when there are weather emergencies, they, will go off, and we're readily there to start planning what we're going to do.
Like you said, the different events are, whether it's our block party, the parades, or even if it's an emergency incident, again, go back to a lot of the pre-planning that's done, and then also when these things happen, then there's a gathering of all of the key people of the village where we coordinate with each other to manage that emergency, manage that event, and that EOC helps us do things like that, to do it in a very efficient manner, and again, focus on that collaboration and the technology to bring everybody together to do that. So, what are some of the things that residents could do to stay more informed with the village as far as emergency messaging and, what the sirens mean? And a lot of people try to mistake a little bit. They're outdoor warning sirens. Not everybody hears them when they're inside.
Correct.
They're outdoor, mostly when people are outside, so they hear them.
Yeah.
Not to run outside to see
to
see the
going
tornadoes
on.
coming,
Yeah.
right? So tell us a little bit about what residents could do to stay more informed.
Yeah, so the village does a lot of messaging. We have Code Red. We send emergency messages to residents. You can sign up to get special messages, emergency messages. Code Red's a really big tool that we use. We also have 2 Facebook, Twitter pages. We have a Village of Tinley Park, the public safety page, where we post all the upcoming weather, anytime there's an emergency in the neighborhoods. So we like for people to go on those platforms to keep informed.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a point that residents have to realize that the 911 center's for emergencies, not for information when there's an emergency out there. So, when you call the 911 center, you tie up a dispatcher if you're just looking for information. And I know it's been our priority is once we get information, we vet it, and we get it out as soon as possible to the public.
Yeah.
So again,
Yeah, sometimes
I know,
it's not easy to get it out as soon as we would like to, but
well, the priority, as we know, are our first responders getting there, the life and safety of those individuals in the incident. So I know you all do a great job to do that. Well, Lisa, I'd like to thank you again for coming out here and explaining a little bit about what that department does and
thank you.
how it contributes to the safety of this great village. So if you need more information, folks could go to our website at the tinleypark.org website and look for EMA, and they should be able to find some more information. So thank you for being here today.
thank you.